All right, here we are, day one of the main event. I'm buddy of mine, Tony, showed up late last night. I don't know what the hell he's doing in the room, but I know it takes me a half hour to get to the horseshoe and get ready, and it's a half hour. And I'm like, dude, I'll wait for you, but at this point, I am not going to wait for him anymore because I don't want to end up being late for day one because I don't know what the hell he's doing. So, day one, baby. Let's go. All right, so look who decided to show up. Tony. I guess it takes him 20 minutes to brush his teeth. I don't know. I didn't brush my teeth. They can smell my stink breath. I took a shower. That's good enough. If the guy pisses me off and go, hey man, what's going on? So, anyway, day one, main event. Here we go, baby. Here we go. How many you gonna bag, Tony?
225.
225. Sounds about right. I'll go with that. 225, 230. Sounds good. So here comes Tony. You'll never find a guy on his phone more. Look at him. Look at him. He's got to be. He's staring at his phone. Mr. Phone, Mr. Phone. Watch him walk right into that. Oh, there you go. No, he missed her. All right, guys. We're down over here in the blue section. Main event, baby. Day 1D. Let's go. Go. Yes, sir. Go blue. All the way.
To wish everyone good luck. We get to talk about the main event.
I don't know where he is.
Okay. So
He's up
the
there
main event,
somewhere. I don't know.
You know, it's long, it's grueling. You're going to be playing for the next
Hopefully.
10 or so days.
Hopefully.
You're going to have some tough decisions. You're going to have some sleepless nights. You're going to have some excitement. You're going to have all of those things. You're going to have all of these experiences. And the beauty of it is that we get to share all of those experiences with you, which is fantastic. And that's why we do this, right? Because
no, you do it for the money.
We're all in this together, and we're going to have a journey, and we're going to have a great time. And one of you, someone, will be the world champion of their banner in this room. So, who is it going to be? Is it going to be a former world champion? Is it going to be a bracelet winner? Is it going to be somebody who just, satellited in and they're the very first time that came to the World Series over? Is it going to be a lady? Is it going to be a lady that wins the tournament or a woman who wins the tournament? We don't know. We do not know who's going to win. But to kick things off, every day we have a very special guest of honor who gets to come in and talk about,
where's he at?
Give you some inspirational words.
I don't see him.
Wish you some good luck. Maybe tell you that they're going to beat you. But our special guest today is one of the foremost best players in the game today. And she's a female. She's also a best-selling author. She went to Harvard. She's extremely smart. She's extremely tough on the poker table. And her book...
Break one here at the main event. I started out just way too aggressive. I just was, I don't know. I got to slow down. I had, early on, excuse me, I had some hands like Jack 8 off that this guy is religiously raising in the cutoff. It feels like to steal the line. So on the button, I started 3-betting. I'm really light, like a Jack 8. And I fired like an ace high board. He called. Turn, check. River was a Jack. He bet the river. I'm like, ugh. And I ended up calling because I hit second pair because he could be bluffing. But I don't think he's ever bluffing there because I could easily have an ace there. So not too happy with my play. So anyway, what you gonna do? I just realized after that to start slowing down and not going so zoom. So I'm down to 40,000 in chips. But hey, look, I'm running back up right before the breaks here. I had pocket nines. Same guy raised. He's been raising a lot. But I'm really usually 3-bet, but I did not because this time it just felt like he had a hand. He had mid-position. So flop come Jack 4-3 rainbow. He bet I called. Turn was a king. He bet big. I folded. I know he could just be repping the king there, but I don't know, like I said. But my whole, I just had a feeling he had a big hand there. So I couldn't fold quite yet, but on the turn I ended up folding. So. And he said, yeah, I had a big hand. So that kind of smelled to me like maybe he had ace king. So who knows? Well, we're on a quick 20-minute break. And look at all these people. It's going to take us more than 20 minutes to get to the bathrooms. So I had an interesting hand. This is real interesting. The guy who raises in mid-position, he raises literally 50% of his hands, maybe 40%. Which means I probably shouldn't have called with this particular hand. Because when you play like hands like this, you really want to be going towards, you know, big pairs that won't fold kind of people and stuff. So anyway, he raised, and I called with 6 of clubs, 3 of clubs, which I know is not a good hand. I was in the cutoff. He raises all the time. I decided to see a flop for some reason. I should have just pitched it pre. It's just too disconnected and etc. But anyway, the other guy in the big blind calls, and another guy calls. Or no, the guy in the big blind calls, everyone else folds. The flop is King Deuce 5 with 2 diamonds. I ended up it's 6-3 of clubs, yeah. So it goes check. The pre-flop raiser bets, and he bets small, and he bets all the time with nothing. So I'm actually just floating here with absolutely nothing but a gutter, and I can represent diamonds. So I called, and the guy in the big blind called. Okay, I'm not loving that, but he just called. Okay, turn is a nothing, like an offsuit something. It really brought in nothing. He checked again, got checked to me, and I'm thinking, boy, with the diamonds out there and the way this board is, no one has a king. I could easily have a king. So I bet pretty good size, 4,000 into a $12,000 pot, or no, less than that, like $8,000 pot or $7,000 pot. Pretty good size of 2/3. The guy who never folds, an old fart, calls, and pre-flop raiser folds. The river bought in the 4 of diamonds, which gives me a straight. I hit my gutter, but it also brings in the flush. And he checks, and I'm thinking, no, he was on the button. I was next to act, so I don't remember. I forgot if he checked or bet, but if I was in position or out. But either way, I hit my straight, so I'm thinking, okay, I should bet this here for value. But the thing is what is really calling? Like, what worse hands would call? I told myself this to death. I have not been doing that, and I hit the straight, and I'm getting in trouble. They're yelling at me, so I got to move. Apparently. So anyway, the river brings in the straight for me, and I bet. And I'm thinking, and he snap calls me. He had Jack 7 of diamonds, so he just called all the way and played anything. Like I said, he's got Jack of diamonds, 7 of diamonds. So I hit the straight, the gutter. He hit the flush, and in hindsight, I made this mistake before. I need to make sure that when I'm betting the river, worse will call. When the flush comes in, is he really calling with a king? And there's a straight on the board too. Is worse really calling? I don't think so. Probably not. Not with him. And so I just, I don't like my bet on the river. And I think he bet. Or no, he checked. I bet he called or something like that. But I don't like my bet. I can just check. And if he bets the river, he would never bet the river when the straight and the flush comes in. He's never betting that river with a king. So if he bets, I can easily fold. He does bluff sometimes, but I think he's probably at a tight image at the time. This hand kind of ruined it for me, but yeah, I should have just check fold with the river. All right, we're on the dinner break in the main. I was not catching. would have been talking to Tony maybe a little bit, but he's too busy playing on the phone all the time. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to come over here and do my quick vlog. Not a whole lot of hands to talk about. I was really card dead. Really card dead. I had that 6-3 hand. Other than that, nothing. I mean, people were real active, but I was catching horse shit, so I just fold. I had 3 hands that I actually played. oh, maybe 4. I raced with ace 10. It comes ace 10 something. I had like 2 clubs on it. I bet he called. I bet he called. And the river bricked out. And I bet again with top 2 pair. And I'm thinking I really should have checked that. It looks like he was on a draw. Just because he probably would have, or he might have. I don't know if he would have. But if he has an ace and not 2 pair, he's betting it. And he's betting his missed draw. So I should be checking that river, not betting it. I bet and he folded. So other than that, a lot of times you want to be 3-betting. Sometimes, if you're not getting many cards, hands that are Broadway suited cans. So especially if people are opening a lot, which people are opening and 3-betting a ton on my table. So I don't 3-bet very often, but a couple 3-bets I had actually weren't really premiums, but they were suited Broadways. Queen Jack suited, and flop come Queen like 5-3. I bet everyone folded. And it was a decent pot because like everybody called the 3-bet, even though I haven't 3-bet all day. And I had King 10 suited, guy who opens religiously, like every other hand. I 3-bet him. Flop came Ace King Deuce or Ace King 7, something like that. Check, I bet. You know, if he calls, fine. I'll slow down most likely, but he folded. So. And then the very last hand before break was kind of nice. Almost fell out of my chair. I looked down at pocket kings, and everyone was getting up and leaving. And I don't know if she thought I was just trying to steal the blinds or something, but I had kings, so I raised in mid to late position. I don't remember exactly. It was like middle position. The big blind called. And I don't change my bet sizing based on what hand I have. It's all based on how much dead money is in the pot. So I just made my standard raise. She called. Turn is Jack 10 Deuce with 2 clubs. I have the King of Clubs, which may come into play. I bet. She called. The turn was another 10, and she donked into me for 2,500. Now, I've seen this as a bluff. It's just kind of a standard play. She seemed like I saw her like 3-bet once with ace 5 suited, so it seems like she actually studies and knows certain things that pros do, which is 3-bet ace 5 and donk when the second pair pairs. So she donks into me pretty big. I'm not folding kings to her after what I've seen, so I call. And then the river comes like a blank. And if she fired again, I was definitely calling. But she checked. And so I thought, well, if she has a jack, I can definitely get called by horse here. So I bet 5 into like a 75, maybe 10,000 pot. I think there was 10,000 in there. 75 plus 2. Yeah, it was like 10, 11,000. So I bet 5 grand, about half pot. And she folded pretty quickly. So she counted out chips like she was raising. And I'm like, if you raise, I'm not folding. Just the read I had and the board and everything. But she just decided not to try bluffing and just fold in. I had another hand, ace 10 off. I raised and it was call. And I noticed this old guy who seems to be pretty good. He plays off like he's an idiot, but he's actually, I think, pretty good. Every time I bet, c-bet a flop, he raises me. So I bet and he raised. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just not folding this time. This lady called, and the board was Queen Jack 8, and I had ace 10. And there was no flush draws on the board. And I'm like, you know what? I'm blocking the straight. I'm not going to fold yet. Ace is probably good. So I called, and then plus I got the straight draw. Turns the ace. I check. I'm fine with checking there. I can bet, but I don't need to. There's a lot of 2 pairs that the guy could have 3-bet with, like ace queen or something. And he's not folding. He's probably raising, so I'm not going to bet that. The river's a king, so give me Broadway. And then the lady checks, and I bet the river. The guy instantly folded, and she tanked forever in a day, and then put me all in. I'm like, okay, it's a chop. I mean, Jesus, the tanking doesn't make it like change anything. You either have a straight or you don't. I don't get it. So anyway, she shipped it, and I called. As I said, it's a chop, and it was a chop, obviously, because we both had the nuts. Nothing else to talk about. That was it. So I'm just gonna stretch my legs some more. Ow. That's what I do when I'm on break, because my body is not in good shape. Brutal fucking level. Jeez, Pete's. I did make a big mistake with guy raised. He's raising a lot. An old guy. Like you see, he plays every hand. It feels like so. He raised under the gun. Gets back around to me. Just a min raise. I look at down at 6 deuce or 6-3 at club. It's not a great hand, but you got the big in there too. I call. There might have been another caller, and big blind calls. So we get to a flop, and it's a ace jack deuce or 3 deuce, something like that with 2 clubs. Check to him. He bets pretty big, like bets full pot. It just seemed like when he bet full pot, he doesn't have anything. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I got a flush draw, so I call, and the other guy folds. Tries the club, so I hit my flush, and I check, and he bets, and I just feel like, boy, when he checks, boy, when he bets there, I'm like, I don't think, no way he has a flush. I'm just like thinking, well, do I want to be cute and slow play this, or do I want to check raise? I feel like I should have check raised, because if I check raise, he's going to call with an ace and a high club. So, and if he doesn't have that, it's, whatever. So, I ended up just calling, expecting to just call him down, seeing how things go, basically. I only have a 6-high flush. And the river comes another club, and he bounds the river. I'm like, fuck. I checked, and I folded. And he showed me 6-9 of hearts. He had nothing. It's a pure bluff. So apparently he took me as weak when I checked the whole way. Okay, so, I mean, I've got to play exactly that way against people that are going to bluff. But that 4th club made it so that I couldn't call. If 4th club doesn't come, I call. Should have check raised the turn, though, because he is definitely calling with worse. Then I look down right after that. Pocket kings. I raise. Call. Another guy calls. Flop comes all low. Like 10-7 deuce. So 10-7, no, 10-7-4, something like that. So with 2 spades, I bet. He calls. Other guy folds. Turn is a 5. I bet 3/4 pot on the turn, 2/3, 3/4 pot on the turn. He calls, and the river's a 6. And for some reason I put it on like I didn't think he had a straight. So I checked, and he bet, and I'm thinking, well, he would bluff miss spades here. Felt like he had miss spades. It didn't feel like he had a flush. So, I mean, it was more of a chance he's a miss flush than anything, it felt like. So I check called, and he hit a pocket 6s. He hit a set on the river. So he turned an open ender and hit a set, but he was calling all the way down with 2 spades on the board with a straight draw. And then I flopped right after that. I jack 10 of hearts. The other guy jack 10, come king queen 9, 2 hearts. He bet. I'm in raised because I have the straight with the flush draw redraw. He calls. Turn is the heart, and this time I'm not making the same mistake. I have a pot size bet left. I go all in. He tanks and he calls, and he had jack 10, but he didn't have hearts. So doubled up on that up to like 45,000, and then right at the end of break there, same guy, the cutoff raise. He went all in for like 6,000. I look down at ace king of diamonds. I ship it for my 40. It gets folded, and we flip him over. He has ace 3 off, or ace 4 off, and I guess there are a couple of people like him at the table or something, but I didn't like him cheering on him. I didn't appreciate that, but basically what had happened is it flopped like jack 5 deuce with 2 diamonds, so I'm in great shape. And the only way he wins is if it's an offsuit 3 on the river, because he had like ace 4 off, that's what it was. And it came an offsuit 3 on the river. So that cracked, lost with ace king off against ace 3, lost with kings against 6s. It's just been, it was a brutal run out there, and I only got 31,000 now, so probably a good time for a break. So I guess we'll see what happens. The thing I need to, excuse me, think about too is, losing my voice here. Got people breathing and coughing on me and shit here. World Series, not helping. I took a lot of vitamin C, but anyway, the thing I need to think about here is that Asian guy who bet, and I was expecting totally to check call, because I expected him to bet miss spades. But number one, he said he put me on an overpair. So number one is he really going to try to get me off an overpair? It was a scary straight heavy board, but no. That combined with, he might, but that combined with the fact that his sizing, it was like perfect sizing. Like it was like, I don't know, half pot, which is something I could call with an overpair. But, you know, if he bets bigger, of course I fold. And he is a guy that plays like, he said he plays, I've never seen him or heard of him before, but he said he plays like 100Ks in like bigger events. So if he is a good player, his opinion is that I've got an overpair and he bets a smaller sizing, which he doesn't expect me to fold an overpair, then maybe I probably should fold an overpair. So anyway, that's it, guys. Hopefully I do better, man. I'm not only down to 31,000, so I need to run this motherfucker up. This is my language. I need to run this up. It's and then the whole table's like cheering for offsuit 3. It's the only way that fucking guy wins. Offsuit 3. And he hit it 3-outer. And because people wanted him to stay. They're like, well, we cheer for you too. I'm like, okay, well, it's just, I don't know. Why do you cheer on one guy so hard like that? It doesn't make the other guy feel wonderful. So, the etiquette and stuff being said at this table is like way out of line. Honestly, if it gets any worse, I'll probably have to call the floor, which I don't want to have to do. But anyway, back we go. Cross my fingers, and I just fucking hope that I start running better here. Those that guy hitting the 2-outer, and then the guy hitting the 2-outer, and I don't know. I think that's the only card, and then the guy hitting the offsuit 3. Those are kind of shitty coolers for sure. Ace 3 versus Ace King all in. Ace King's supposed to win, especially 2 diamonds on the board. But guess that happens in poker, so I'll just go back and turn this thing around for sure. I think we got 2 more levels. All right, we're bagging. We made it through day 1, barely. You got Rampager over there, huh? Say hi, Rampage. So, as you saw, we back on day 1. Chip count $29,300, which is not very good, but you know I was down to 8,000 like literally 20 minutes ago, and I made a big mistake when I moved tables. I had 31,000 or something, about the same when I moved to the new table, and for some reason I just couldn't fold. And at the prior table, the guy who was tilting me a little bit before he tilted me and stuff and was a jerk, he got beers from. He just grabbed some beers and said, "Here, you can have the beer." I guess he ordered it and then he gave it to me. So I'm like, okay. So I should have never drank that beer, because I drank the beer combined with the paid bills I'm on. I don't know what it did, but I just did not play as well. I should not have drank that beer. And I sat down on a new table. I don't know how anybody plays, and yet for some reason I felt I couldn't fold. I raised with ace jack. The guy called. Flop comes queen 9-9. I bet. He calls. Turn check. He bets. I call. You know, what am I doing? I don't even know how this guy plays. River, the flush came in. I knew I didn't rep the flush. I could have easily, I guess, but and then he had ace queen. He checked back ace queen, and then there was another time where I raised pre and I had a hand similar hand ace jack. Flop come queen 9-3 or something like that. I see bet heads up against the same guy. He calls. And I could tell he's weak. Like when he bet real weak amount. And then, so when he was doing that, I could have easily blown him off the hand, but I didn't. So I just made a lot of mistakes. Tony, me and him bagged. What do you got?
I got 39K.
39. I got 29. So, but I literally had not even 20 minutes ago. I had 8K.
Yeah. I'm down to 20K.
Oh yeah, I didn't talk about how I got that. I completed in the big with Jack 5 of hearts, flopped some Jack 5 deuce with 2 spades. I checked, see bet the guy bets. He bet the nut flush draw. I went all in. He called. A spade came on the turn. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm done. Well, it paired the board. It gave me the 5, so it was Jack 5 to 5. So even though he hit his nut flush, I hit my boat and boom. So there you go. That's it.
Special.
Jack 5 of hearts. It was suited. So.